Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Brittany here with another video to help you guys live a happy, healthy, awesome life in a wheelchair. And today we're doing one more poop video. I know that I said the last one would be the last one, but I had one more that was like in my queue of things to do for the last like 2 years, and I just thought let's throw it in here because I've been planning it forever and just haven't done it. So this video is on all the ways to poop when you're paralyzed, because believe it or not, there's more than one way to poop when you're paralyzed. I know I've done a lot of videos on pooping and all the things that I do to poop, but my way is just one way. So I'm going to explain sort of this the gamut of ways to poop when you have a neurogenic bowel. And these are all actual ways that people poop that I know, and so I've just compiled them, and we're going to talk about them. If you have other ways that aren't included in this video, just throw them in the comments as always. I think there's 6 ways, so we'll start with number 1, which is just pooping regularly. Believe it or not, when you are paralyzed, sometimes you have enough abdominal control and all of that stuff to just poop regularly. My good friend Brian, he's got a low-level injury, and even though he has a lower motor neurogenic bowel, which means his anus is more flaccid than mine, which means he has more accidents than I do. When he feels the urge to poop, like when he feels that he has stool in his rectum, he can make it to the bathroom most of the time, and he has enough abdominal control that he can just like push it out. And that's really awesome for him, other than, you know, when he doesn't make it, which kind of sucks. It's not the most common way, but it is a way. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the way that I poop with digital stimulation and a suppository, either or. You can use them together or you can use one or the other. But it's mostly just, what is it? Not colorectal. Rectal colic. We talked about this in another video. Rectal colic stimulation, which is basically just stimulating the reflex that would normally stimulate a bowel movement. And so what we're doing is we're using mechanical irritation with our finger to loosen our rectum, to loosen our anus. And then we are using chemical irritation with the suppository that also further stimulates that reflex, and it just moves stool from our the upper part of our descending colon down to our rectum and out. And so that is way number 2. And if you want to watch more videos about that, you can, you know, go watch all the other poop videos in this series, which I'll link below. Number 3, manual disimpaction. So manual disimpaction is used for people with lower motor neurogenic bowels who have a more flaccid bowel or a more flaccid anal tone, and so their butthole isn't as tight as an upper motor neurogenic bowel, and they don't have the reflex intact that allows them to use mechanical stimulation or chemical stimulation, and so when they put a suppository in, it doesn't really do anything. And so the way they poop is just with manual disimpaction. So if there's stool in their rectum, they just sort of put their gloved finger in their rectum and sort of get it out. Number 4 is a anal irrigation, and the most common anal irrigation is the paralyzed system, which is essentially just a bag attached to a catheter that you stick up your butt. You slowly drip water using gravity into the catheter, and then it fills up your rectum, and when your rectum fills up, it stimulates a bowel movement. I don't actually know whether the paralyzed system goes farther up, like if the water actually goes into your colon at all. I don't believe so. I believe it just stretches your rectum to stimulate a bowel movement, and it works really well. So that is way number 4. If anybody knows whether the paralyzed system actually fills up your descending colon, let me know, because I didn't do enough research about that before this video, so I'm not entirely sure. But I do know that it flushes you out really good, and generally empties your descending colon. So whether it fills that up and then empties it, or it just empties it because your rectum stretches, I'm not entirely sure. So you might want to check that out if you are planning on trying the paralyzed system. Number 5 is a colostomy, which is when they reroute a part of your lower large intestine to your abdomen, so that your stool comes out, instead of coming out of your anus, at your butthole. It comes out of a hole in your abdomen, and you have to have a bag attached to this to the stoma, which is the hole that they create in your abdomen, and you have to empty the bag however many times a day stool fills it up. So that is usually a last resort, but a lot of my friends who are quadriplegics and just don't have the hand dexterity to do digital stimulation or putting in a suppository, and it's just harder to get on the toilet, find their butthole with hands that don't work very well and all that stuff, they opt for a colostomy. And even a lot of my friends who are paraplegics and do have hand dexterity and stuff, after a certain number of years of doing a bowel program, they get hemorrhoids. It just takes a long time. It's just easier to have a colostomy bag that, you know, you can see, you can empty it when it's full, and you don't have to have a specific bowel program that's timed or anything like that. And it just sort of gives you more freedom, even though for a lot of people it's a last resort and kind of a grosser option. But it gives a lot of people more freedom in the end, because I've had a number of friends who chose that after many years of being paralyzed, and they said they would have done it sooner had they known how much better and easier it is. So I'm not really sure. I know that someday maybe I'll do that once I get too old to transfer on the toilet and stuff, but for now I'm good with way number 2, just digital stimulation and my suppository. Okay, that brings us to the last 2, which are very similar to one another. They're just slightly different. And the type of pooping that we're going to talk about in this one is called a MACE procedure, which stands for a Malone Antegrade Continence Enema. And in this procedure, they take your appendix and they attach it to a stoma. So they create a hole in your abdomen, attach your appendix so that you have a channel essentially from your abdomen into your large intestine, the beginning of your large intestine. And then when you are ready to do a bowel program, you hook a bag up similar to an anal irrigation system, and you let water go into that bag, and the water flows into your large intestine at the very beginning of it and flushes out your large intestine and basically clears out the entire thing. When you do a bowel program, I have a friend with spina bifida that uses this, and he says it works great. And I have another friend who is a paraplegic that uses this because she was having lots and lots of accidents. And once she got this procedure, even though it was hard to learn at first because I guess it was unpredictable how long the water would take to come out and stuff like that, but once her bowel got used to it, her bowel program takes under an hour, and she can go every 3 days, I think, because her large intestine is entirely flushed every 3 days, which doesn't always happen for us when we do a regular bowel program. We might get rid of what's in the lower colon, the lower part of the large intestine, but then we have to go more often because we just have more poop in there. So that's the MACE procedure. And then the other one, which is very similar to this one, but just has a slightly different way of connecting to the large intestine, is called a cecostomy. And in this one, instead of hooking your appendix to your abdomen and creating a channel that way, they just insert a tube from your abdomen into your cecum, which is the very beginning of your large intestine. And then there is a tube that sticks out of your abdomen essentially, that has a little valve on it that can close and open, and that you can add a catheter to add water to when you're ready to do your bowel program. Same procedure though, you just add the catheter into the tube, fill the bag that's filled with water, drips water into your large intestine, and then it essentially flushes out your large intestine. So that you're totally clear. And these are generally last resorts. The MACE procedure and the cecostomy are usually last resorts if people have chronic constipation or are struggling a lot with incontinence. But to be honest, I'm not really sure why this isn't given to people more often, because a lot of people struggle just with occasional incontinence, and having to do your bowel routine less is, a good thing, I think, for a lot of people, especially if you're clearing out the waste. Because if you're doing your bowel routine every 3 or 4 days, but you're not actually clearing out your large intestine, your full large intestine, then you're just like holding on to a bunch of waste that can, kind of make you sick, and you're reabsorbing toxins and all of that stuff. But if you're clearing out the stool and it takes long, like it takes another 3 days to fill up your large intestine, then it seems like a pretty decent way to poop when you're paralyzed to me. And I'm really surprised that I didn't know about this until I met people that actually have had this procedure. And the doctors don't even really tell you about these procedures unless you're struggling a lot with incontinence or constipation. And they are trying to find alternatives to what would be, standard practice. Those are all the ways to poop when you're paralyzed. There's definitely more than one. If you're struggling with the current way that you're pooping, maybe talk to your doctor about these other options. And if you have any other ways that you have pooped or do poop with paralysis, please put them in the comments below, because these are just the ones that I know about because I have friends that actually use these methods. And if you have any questions about them, you can put them in the comments and I will try my best to answer them. I don't know a whole bunch about all of these things, just the little bit that I've been told by my friends and what I've researched for this video, but I'll try my best to answer them, and maybe other people who are reading this that use those methods can answer them as well. But that is really all I've got for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for tolerating one more poop video. I will catch you back here on another one. Bye guys.